According to a new report, Wendy Williams does not have frontotemporal dementia.
It looks like Wendy is finally getting out of her messy guardianship after new test results revealed that she was intentionally misdiagnosed with a bunch of mental illnesses she doesn't have. What's worse is that the same team that was appointed to her by the court is the one allegedly behind this misdiagnosis. Wendy has been screaming at us for months, telling everyone that she isn't crazy, but no one was listening to her. Nicki Minaj even stepped in to spill the tea about what they were doing to Wendy, but no one took her seriously. Apparently, Nicki did this because she is next in line to be misdiagnosed and thrown into a conservatorship. But as usual, folks are going to ignore her just like they did Wendy till it's too late. This entire mess went down a couple of days ago when TMZ reported that Wendy underwent a series of neurological tests by an unnamed top neurologist in New York, and he concluded that Wendy didn't have the condition that has kept her in a guardianship for years. Mind you, they've thrown this woman in multiple mental health facilities, canceled her TV show, kept her from her family, and shoved drugs down her throat over this illness, only for it to turn out she didn't even have the illness to begin with. This is some wicked work, and from what Wendy is saying, it wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate attempt from Wells Fargo to hoard her money and do as they please with it. Wells Fargo was the one who started this mess when they pushed for her to have a court-appointed guardian because she was incapable of managing her own financial affairs and at risk of exploitation. She was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, and from this point on, it was up. What's even more shady about the whole thing is that just because Wendy's legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, took over, there were reports that Wendy was getting better. So how did she go from that to suddenly having all these illnesses right when Sabrina stepped in? Even Wendy's son, Kevin Jr., called out the BS when he commented this under a post the Shade Room made about Wendy's diagnosis. He also said Wendy's doctor told them that Wendy's dementia was alcohol-induced, but for some reason her team was still allowing her to have a lot of alcohol. They also cut all ties with her family, meaning her family didn't know where she was or what was being done to her. I feel like the Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom. Wendy has since tried so many times to get out of the guardianship, but they are not letting up. She even had a couple of independent evaluations done to determine that she didn't have the illnesses that she was being labeled with, but they still insisted that she did. Mind you, according to experts, people with frontotemporal dementia only get worse after their diagnosis. But Wendy has exhibited remarkable neurological resilience since she became clean and sober 3 years ago. TMZ claims that Wendy's legal team will file legal docs with the court in the next 2 weeks, paving the way for a hearing where they will ask the judge to terminate the guardianship. If the judge digs in and refuses to end the guardianship, powerhouse lawyer Joe Tacopina will then demand a jury trial and ask jurors to free Wendy. When Wendy initially got sucked into this guardianship, the number one suspect on everyone's list was Diddy, because he and Wendy have a long history. And anyone who has been keeping up with them knows that Diddy has been wanting to destroy Wendy for the longest time. Wendy accused him of receiving an oral from a man. She said someone had emailed her photos of Diddy during his vacation in Mexico, and in those photos, another man was doing that you-know-what to him.
The Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom.
So, and remember the time then 19-year-old Shine took the fall for Diddy for that clubbing incident? Wendy was the one who found the circumstances suspicious and called for it to be properly investigated. She even questioned the whole thing, claiming that Diddy and J-Lo were hiding something. She was also one of the only people to call out Diddy and Cassie's relationship way before Cassie even left him.
She got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view and what was in the picture.
We were in Cancun. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay, something like that. She was gonna put it out. Wendy had shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97 if they didn't get rid of her before he got back in New York, that they was not gonna get any music from any of his friends any of the record labels executives that was cool with him, everybody was gonna boycott their station. We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. He was fired.
A very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now, so.
Things got so bad that Diddy even threatened her then 16-year-old son. So what happened was Wendy invited Diddy for an interview. During the interview, he randomly brought up her son in their conversation, which made Wendy visibly nervous because she knew there was a reason he brought her son up. A lot of people feel like he did this to warn her to stay out of his business or he was going to hurt him. Now, when it comes to Nicki Minaj, she might be a lot of things, but a liar isn't one of them. And it looks like people are finally realizing that. You see, because of Wendy and Diddy's relationship, people were convinced that Diddy was the only one responsible. But according to Nicki's recent claims, Jay-Z and Roc Nation also had a hand in Wendy's problems, and they are now trying to do the same thing to her. A few days ago, she got into it with Charlemagne over an interview he did with Gucci Mane and Keisha. And in response to the interview, she accused Roc Nation of using Charlemagne to get Wendy in that guardianship. Charlemagne the fraud is Jay-Z's friend and business associate, using heart radio for these disgusting ploys against innocent families. He was around Wendy before her life went to hell. The buck stops here, baby. Bookmark this tweet. Tasha K also stepped into the chat, and she gave us more details about what Nicki was talking about. Tasha said Roc Nation has allegedly been plotting to get Nicki in a guardianship too, just like Wendy. But the only thing that is stopping them from being able to do that is her husband, Kenneth Petty. Since she's married to Ken, even if they succeed in getting doctors to diagnose her with mental health issues she doesn't have, all her money will automatically go to Ken since he's her husband. And if you take a look at all the celebrities who were thrown into a conservatorship, none of them were married. Britney wasn't married, and Wendy was divorced by the time Wells Fargo gave her a guardian. If they were married, it would have been much harder for her to be put in a guardianship.
He ran out of the club so fast and got into the waiting SUV. It wasn't until he got into the truck that he realized that he left Jennifer behind, along with his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf. He just ran. Forget it. That's a true sign of an itch bag, by the way. Leaving his letter was an uncle. Well, eventually, Jennifer and Wolf made their way to the SUV without Puffy. Right. They ran 11 lights to elude the cops. Supposedly it was Puffy, although people were saying they saw a female hand tossing the window. And then when the cops stopped them, they found a second, of course, in the car. Right. All four of the occupants, the driver, the bodyguard, Puffy, and Jennifer, were handcuffed and taken down to the precinct. And eventually, Puffy and his bodyguard, Wolf, were overheard talking about their plot to bribe the driver to take the rap for the... And Puffy was overheard saying, and I quote, because the prosecutor said this, "I can't go to jail, I'm Puff Daddy." He was arrested with a deadly weapon. And Puffy wants Cassie back. Oh, it's been all over social media. Puffy posted a picture of Michael Jackson's song, "Lady in My Life," and wrote, "If anyone sees Cassie this weekend, please tell her to listen to this song 100 times. I suggest don't use social media, though, to reach out. I think this is a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession, like a possession. And if you really care, then you reach out privately, not publicly."
Y'all have bad blood for a while.
Real bad.
Real bad.
The worst blood.
The worst blood. You almost wanted to run you out of New York at one point, right? Well, not run, push you out of New York. Oh, he had you ran out. You get him 400? Okay, cool. He had you ran out of New York.
Things got so bad.
Y'all gonna stop twisting my damn words. Nicki Minaj ain't got no schizophrenia. They tried to 5-150 Kanye for being bipolar. It's a mood disorder. Then turned around and attempted to seize his assets just because he was talking his ish. Meanwhile, Wendy Williams is sitting in a luxury hospital suite while her lawyers spend her money. Michael Jackson's gone, and Britney Spears had to flee the U.S. to Mexico just to feel free after years under that conservatorship. What part don't y'all understand? This is a systemic industry takedown meant to make her look incapable of managing her own money. And let's be clear, Kenny, the husband, is in the way. All this started after she tweeted about that damn...
The mother of a now 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Who I met backstage,
He did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. You represent a lot.
Now, when it comes to Nicki Minaj,
COVID vaccine. It's now being speculated that these reports about Wendy being misdiagnosed isn't a coincidence like the industry wants us to believe. Allegedly, they had to put her in that guardianship while Diddy's trial was actively happening, so she wouldn't testify in court about what she went through in his hands. But now that the trial is over, she isn't a threat anymore, so they can let her out. And honestly, this checks out because Wendy had multiple independent tests done to prove she wasn't sick, and none of them were taken seriously.
But right when Diddy's trial ended, a test was done, and now they actually decided to take her seriously. And let's not forget how they are now labeling Nicki Minaj crazy just when rumors started going around about Jay-Z being next in line after Diddy. These people are playing in our face, and it's beginning to get harder and harder to ignore. As usual, people have their own opinions. This person who said Wendy's family should sue the doctor that misdiagnosed her with dementia. That misdiagnosis is the cause that led to a myriad of bad events that impacted Wendy's life. Another person said they saw Wendy's condo, gave away her beloved pet, got rid of thousands of dollars of furniture, clothing, and personal effects, Wendy's self-admitted stints in rehab for substance use. Bottom line, free Wendy. But now, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Wendy finally getting out of her guardianship? And do you think Nicki Minaj is really the next to be put in a guardianship? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.